Hi, I'm Dontasia Dudley.
Hi, I'm Tanaya Nash.
Hi, my name is Shelby Whittington.
Hi, I'm Donald Meredith.
My name is Malik Tracy.
Hi, my name is Keisha.
My name is Makai.
Malik, tell me how you felt about doing the docent tour today.
Okay, so my experience today with the docent tours were very good. I was a little nervous, but I got over it, and fought through it. Okay, that's pretty much
Can I
it.
ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
What experiences that you had in this museum to help you to become a docent here at the Great Blacks and Wax Museum?
So I have a lot of experiences. I'm actually a veteran here at the National Great Blacks and Wax Museum. This is my 4th year. So I pretty much know most of the museum, but not a lot. But I feel as though I can do the whole thing.
Donald, how did you acquire your knowledge of being able to become a docent here at the museum?
I participated in many different extracurricular programs that involve storytelling and African American history.
How did the docent training here this summer help you to improve or to really accent some of the things that you felt was important in becoming a docent at the Blacks and Wax Museum?
A lot of the stuff in the museum, mostly I know about, but coming to the museum and spending time here every day kind of gave me more information to help me become a tour guide and a docent.
Sean Quay, I'd like to ask you a question. How has your working in the docent program and coming here every day to practice impacted you?
It has impacted me a lot because it makes, even though it's more educational than a lot of kids would expect and a lot of people would expect. So coming here and really walking around and spending a lot of time here is very useful because it's a lot of stuff that a lot of us didn't know before we came here. So now that we did come here, it's a lot that we do know and that we did realize about our culture and about African American history, period, not just about black people, but about white people and about what our ancestors and stuff had to go through. So it was a nice experience for me.
I am Tanaya Nash.
Okay, you came here this summer to be trained as a person who will be a docent at the Great Blackson Museum. How did the training, coming every day and coming down to the museum, how did that help you to accomplish that goal?
Okay, so coming every day has helped me because whenever I come into the museum, I just wrote like section by section so I can understand it, so I can break it into pieces so I can help better understand what was there, who was there, and what they did. So instead of going all over, I just tried to be more organized about it, and this is why the Maryland room is my favorite section because I spent most time in here, and I feel like I'm better in this room than any other room in the museum.
Hi, I'm Dontasia.
So I have a question for you. Tell me if you would recommend the docent program to other young people in your age range, knowing what your feelings were in the beginning and what your feelings are today.
I actually did. I asked my cousin to come in with me for the rest of the year, I think. Yeah, for the rest of the year. And, well, with the way I was feeling in the beginning, it wasn't really happy. Yeah, it wasn't positive. But as I got used to it, like the environment and stuff, I started to open up more. And I got myself together. So I would recommend this to anyone who loves history.
Oh yeah, my name is Deshaun Dorsey.
Deshaun, what was your favorite tour guiding experience here?
My favorite was touring the 3 people that came today, but they weren't part of the group. They asked me to tour them around, and they liked the way I toured them around. Me and Ty Bishop.
What exhibit did you What is?
Oh, you know what, let's leave that as a single question, we ask all of them, okay, that's good. So you want another question for him?
Deshaun,
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
feel you've grown from this experience being in the docent training program?
Yes, man. First, I ain't know nothing.
This helped you? How did it help you?
Say that again.
And its impact on you?
Say that again. Any more questions?
That's it, she's saying,
How did it
Be more,
impact?
be more detailed.
It impacted me real good, cause like at first I ain't know a lot of stuff. Like I knew some stuff about Booker T. Washington, but I ain't know all of it until I got here and I learned new stuff.
okay, now this is the last one.
Hello, my name is Makai Stewart.
Makai, can you tell us how this experience affected you? And what did you learn from the experience being trained as a docent?
I learned how to speak in front of a crowd of people confidently without stumbling over my words or being nervous because the camera in my face. And that was my main goal to joining this program. To be able to talk in front of people because I want to be a rap artist and I'm going to communicate with people.
Makai, how long have you been doing this?
This is my first year.
First year?
First 4 weeks.
You did a great job.
So Dontasia, tell me what your favorite exhibit was.
My favorite exhibit was the slave ship. Okay, my favorite exhibit was the slave ship because I knew a little of it, but I didn't know the whole story. So that really opened my eyes to where I know all of it now.
Tanaya, what was your favorite part of being in this experience? What was your favorite exhibit? And tell us why.
Okay, I like this floor the most is the Maryland room / the children's section of the Maryland room. I like this room because I memorized most of it and I like the history behind the children's room, and I also like the African room because I like the history of our ancestors and what I've learned from their greatness in the past before coming to America.
Shanquay, tell us what was it like being here, and what have you learned from this experience? And what was your favorite section of the museum for you?
I learned a lot from this experience, and I would refer a lot of people to come here, like a lot of youth to come here, because it'll change you and it'll open your eyes a lot and it'll make a difference. And a lot of younger kids, and they'll see it's just not all about playing, It's about educational wise too. And my favorite part of the exhibit is the lobby and the African exhibit, but I also like the lynching room as well because it's very detailed and it explains a lot about what our people went through and how far they have came for us to become who we are today.
Donald, could you tell us what your favorite exhibit was?
If I was to choose, my favorite exhibit would probably have to be the political room, because that political room has a lot of great people that I didn't really know about until I started this program. It also shows how they paved the way for certain people like Barack Obama to have the position that he had in 2008 and 2012 when he was elected as president.
Malik, what is your favorite part of this museum, and tell us why?
My favorite part of the museum is the Jim Crow era because Walter White was in that section. Not only just because of Walter White, but like he played a very important role for the black people. The white people thought that he was white. He was actually African American. His skin was very light, but the part that he played was like he actually risked his life to basically like help the black people out. So that's my favorite part inside the museum.
Deshaun, tell us what your favorite exhibit was in the museum.
Athletes. Athletes my favorite because I like sports. That's the one that I know the most about. So that's my favorite.
Makai, what is your favorite exhibit here? And tell us why.
My favorite exhibit is the Mason exhibit. I just like the way it's set up with the stairs in the back, the contrast. I just like the way it look. I don't know too much background information on it. I just like the way it's set up.
It has impacted me a lot because it makes, even though it's more educational than a lot of kids would expect and a lot of people would expect. So coming here and really walking around and spending a lot of time here is very useful because it's a lot of stuff that a lot of us didn't know before we came here. So now that we did come here, it's a lot that we do know and that we did realize about our culture and about African American history, period, not just about black people, but about white people and about what our ancestors and stuff had to go through. So it was a nice experience for me. Now, how are you guys today? My name is Chef Quickwood. I'll be your docent for this part of the exhibit today. But before I start the tour, I want to give thanks to the Martin family. They're the founders of the Great Black and White Museum. That's Dr. Elma Martin and Dr. Joanne Martin. They were the founders for this foundation right here, the foundation we're standing on today. So now we can start the tour for today, for this exhibit today. For starters, I'm going to start with the father of Black History Month, which is Carter G. Woodson. He graduated high school at 22 years old. He got a bachelor's degree, he got a master's degree. He also got a PhD in philosophy. He also went on to teach. He was a principal, he was a supervisor, he taught English, Spanish. He also taught different cultures, which is the Philippines. He taught a lot of different stuff. He tried to make a difference in life, which he did because, as you can see, everybody is equal. This is Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, the Great Black Sage. He was a founder of the NAACP, which started the Niagara Movement. First started as the Niagara Movement, and then he went to New York and became the NAACP. This is again Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois. Behind you guys is the military genius, which is Hannibal. He fought with 32,000 against 80,000 in cavalry. He won with his strategies. And until this day, they still use a lot of his strategies to fight in like Iraq and the Navy and stuff like that. I know it's kind of impressive, but it's a lot of stuff that they hold on to. The stuff that happened in the past, they felt like it could be used in the future, which is a good thing because it has helped. It has become a big help. And to go on to Bessie Holt, she was the first black woman to become a pilot. Because you could not be a pilot in those times in the United States, but she had to go elsewhere in order for her to accomplish her dreams and what she really wanted to do. So she became the first black woman to ever become a pilot. She also traveled from state to state, flying around before she passed away, which she passed away in a flying accident in the air. And again, I would like for y'all to thank Dr. Elma and Joanne Martin for making this possible today, for you guys to have a tour at the National Great Black and White Museum. And I had co-workers back there as well that will tour you guys from here.
Thank you. Thank you.
I participated in many different extracurricular programs that involve storytelling and African American history. A lot of the stuff in the museum, mostly I know about, but coming to the museum and spending time here every day kind of gave me more information to help me become a tour guide and a docent. Good morning, everybody, and I want to start off by saying welcome to the National Great Black Museum. My name is Donald Meredith, and I'll be your tour guide for this section of the museum. If you look over it this way, you have a bale of cotton and these are what the slaves were required to pick every day. So slaves did physical labor, and when they were doing their labor, they would pick stuff like cotton, tobacco, and sugarcane. This specifically right here is 500 pounds, and these are what grown men were required to pick. Women were required to pick 250 pounds, and adolescents between the age of 8 and 12 were required to pick 125 pounds, which is a quarter of 500. If we look over here, we have an act known as forced feeding, and a lot of slaves, they were going hunger strikes, and they would starve themselves to death because they'd rather die than do the harsh physical labor of slavery. So what the slave owners would do is they would break their front two teeth in, and they would mix cornmeal with water to create mush, and they would force it down your throat. If this didn't get to you, they would move on to some punishments. This right here, we have the iron collar. This collar right here has spikes inside of it, so when you would turn your neck, it would kind of cut your flesh a bit. And this torso part right here also had spikes inside of it, so when you were moving, you had to be very careful. Here right here, you can see the bells. These bells kind of serve two purposes. One purpose was to let slave owners know where you were, and one big part of slavery, it wasn't just the physical labor that they were doing, it was about the mental and mind control. So hearing these bells would kind of scare the other slaves into doing the right thing. Well, not necessarily the right thing, but listening to the white man. Here over here, we have the iron mask, and it was only enough space for you to breathe, so they would often leave you in here for hours, days, and maybe even weeks until you died if you didn't comply with what the slave owner wanted you to do. So if you didn't listen, this was like a form of punishment, and if you didn't comply, you could possibly die. Here over here, this right here is the cotton that they'd be picking. As you can see, it's very spiky, and it has a lot of thorns. And there were no gloves when they were picking them. So when they would pick the cotton, by the end of the day, they would have blood all over their hands, and often they would get infected. Oh, and I just want to say, here right here, you'll notice that there's stuff on his back, they're known as keloids, and they were allowed to do this. They would jump overboard because they eventually they didn't want to come to the Americas because they were scared of what might happen to them when they got there. So often a lot of them would jump overboard, and in order to prevent that, people on the ship would often put nets around the ship to prevent them from jumping over.
Hi, I'm Reba Bullock,
Hi, I'm Mary Myers.
and I'd like to welcome you to the National Great Blacks Museum, Great Blacks and Wax Museum. I've been working here at the museum for more than 20 years, and one of my responsibilities is being a docent, but also a trainer to train youth in this city to become tour guides, to youth and young adults as a result. And one of my favorite responsibilities is working with youth in Baltimore City to help them gain knowledge about African American history and culture, and training them through the docent training programs is one way to help them acquire greater knowledge and skills about the culture of African America in this country.
I am a project coordinator with the National Great Blacks and Wax Museum. I am a part of the team with Reba to train docents to be tour guides at the National Great Blacks and Wax Museum. I have worked with youth all of my life, mostly with Baltimore City Public Schools, and it is a great privilege and an honor to continue that education by teaching them about the history of our ancestors.
Okay, Lorenzo has a question for you now. Okay.
So how long then has the docent program been in effect?
The docent program has been in effect for more than 20 years.
Okay. And you mostly cater toward the Baltimore City students?
Baltimore City students as well as adults. So we both train adults as well as youth to be a part.
Right. and their ages are 14 to 21, and in some programs 14 to 24.
Okay. Do they only do the docent work here at the Great Blacks and Wax Museum?
Well,
or do they do it at other facilities
Okay,
as well?
you can be trained here to be a docent here at the museum, but you can be trained as a tour guide. And that means you will do work as a tour guide here, but you will travel all over the city, sometimes over the state, to be able to help people who want to know and have information about those sites. For example, we may take them to a slave plantation out in Delaney Valley. We might take them to Reginald Lewis Museum. We take them to Fort McHenry, so there are a number of sites. So we want them to get the total picture of this area, to help them learn more about the life and history of African American culture, both as enslaved and those who have really been successful in doing business, being able to be elevated to higher positions and leadership in this city and the state of Maryland. This grant offered us the opportunity to expand the program, because we are able not only to, in addition to training them here, but being able to go out through the city and look at other sites that will really impact on them and help improve their understanding of African American history and culture. So that's one thing that I think adds to the success of this program. Knowing the statues that are here, but also knowing sites that certainly impact our lives and show the success of African American history and culture in the city of Baltimore and other areas. Yes, there are opportunities annually where, under the direction of Dr. Joanne Martin, where we have celebration of African American history and culture. And for example, we have the Griot Circle. And certainly, for example, Mrs. Mary Carter Smith, who's called the Griot of Maryland, we celebrate her birthday the first weekend in December. And so everyone who comes to that event are dressed up in African American history and culture costumes. We have periods when we do this. We have the street festival, and we see much of that right here in our area, right next to the museum, where they come and really and truly provide a wonderful Saturday, where they dress in African American costumes, African costume, jewelry, and all of that thing that reflect some of the things that we appreciate as our culture heritage.
Goodbye, and thank you for coming to our tour, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Okay, so this is Crippled Caesar. Crippled Caesar was a young child who had frostbite. He got his his hands and his feet cut off, and he was crippled and couldn't walk. He was a slave in the South, and he wanted to become free. He couldn't walk to freedom, or he couldn't escape like every other slave did, or everyone under oppression did. So he had to crawl to his freedom, and sometimes use his teeth and just to try and cross what is known as the Mason-Dixie line, which crosses from the north and the south. Yeah. So right before his passing, he made it to this line and was known as a free man. This is the boy on the woodpile. The boy on the woodpile was caught playing with white people and was ambushed by a mob and was put on the woodpile to be set on fire because he wasn't obedient and he was playing with people he shouldn't have been. People protested later on and got him sent to be mutilated instead of being set on fire. Okay, I'm gonna have to
Mutilated.
to be cut up and just dismembered. Okay. This is known as the chain gang. People or black children who were disobedient, and you know how like delinquents go to like juvenile detention centers and just like jail for children. They were sentenced to work and do labor as young children or as adults. He was crying because he was young and he had to do jobs of men who were twice his size, and he didn't have any say against it. That's why he was upset. Everybody knows who the KKK is. They are known as the Ku Klux Klan, and they were an organization and a movement to establish and maintain white supremacy. White supremacy is still a thing today. They still try, and there's active movements out today and groups who believe that they should still be superior to others. this is an example of how doing so. Okay, no. Excuse me. This is an example of what the KKK did to show that they were superior. There were 4 young women in a church and they were praying in Alabama. The KKK decided to throw a Molotov cocktail inside of the church where they were praying, and the church was burned down and all of them died.
You're doing great.
Okay, this is an example of how Africans live, and this is an example of how African Americans live in America now. They aren't as superior as whites, so they had to live in unjust and inhumane and dirty conditions such as these, and it is not good for them or their well-being. And that's just an example, and this is what it looked like. Excuse me. Okay, this is an example of what happened in 1994. In 1994, over 321 deaths had came from drug abuse and alcohol abuse and just things that they did to self-harm. And this was a memorial to do so. It is known as another way of enslavement, except for the enslavement by the white man. Drug enslavement is a real thing, and it's still attacking black people and other people now, and it's doing nothing but increasing. And it's nothing that is good, and it should be protected. All right, this is the last person in the children's section. So he is known as Oda Benga. He was a young pygmy boy in Africa. He was found by a scientist, a white scientist, and he discovered that he can speak perfect English. After discovering that he could speak perfect English, he shipped him to the United States and did a series of tests on him. After doing so, he sent him to the zoo to be with the chimpanzees, and he was in an exhibit with with chimpanzees, and they were taking pictures of him, and they were using him as a form of entertainment. They didn't see him as a person, and he felt that. The ministers protested against the way that he was being treated. He was being treated inhumanely, he was being treated badly, and he was later sent to work in Lynchburg, Virginia, I believe, and to be in a tobacco field, to work at a tobacco field. Before he made it there, he committed suicide because he didn't like the conditions that he was being put in throughout his entire life, and he couldn't live the way he wanted to.